The Truman Show wasn't just a drama, it was a mirror polished to perfection. A town built like a stage, a sun that was fake, and neighbors who were never really neighbors. But behind all that control, the cracks were always there. The movie predicted reality TV, challenged privacy, and made the world ask if our lives are being watched, too. These are 20 weird facts about The Truman Show, and once you hear them, you may never look at the screen the same way again. Fact number 1. It didn't start in Sea Haven. The sunny seaside town we all remember wasn't the original setting. In Andrew Niccol's first draft, the movie was called The Malcolm Show, and it took place in grim Manhattan. Truman's journey wasn't lighthearted satire. It was a dark, paranoid thriller, with guns, murder, and a man unraveling in a hostile city. Think Blade Runner meets Brazil, not gentle comedy. The studio got cold feet. They wanted warmth, not nightmares. So directors like Rob Reiner and later Peter Weir reshaped it into something quieter, but far more unsettling. A smiling lie instead of a loud scream. That change made the story timeless. Fact number 2. Jim Carrey took less for more. By the mid-90s, Jim Carrey was untouchable. Ace Ventura, The Mask, Liar Liar, he was box office gold. Studios were throwing millions at him, but for The Truman Show, he shocked everyone by taking a massive pay cut. He didn't want the paycheck. He wanted the risk. Carrey wanted to prove he could strip away the cartoon chaos and deliver stillness, depth, and fear. His audition stunned director Peter Weir, who said it was like watching someone shed their skin. Carrey's choice paid off. Instead of wild catchphrases, we got a man quietly questioning his world, and it became one of his greatest performances. Fact number 3. The secret Bible of lies before cameras rolled, director Peter Weir built not just a set, but a complete universe. His tool? A 10-page secret manual called The Trupedia. This wasn't a prop. It was a rulebook detailing every single lie inside Truman's world. From why the sun never cast harsh shadows, to why townsfolk never seemed to age, to how every casual line was scripted for manipulation. Even background extras had fake jobs, fake families, and fake routines, all designed to keep Truman's cage invisible. Sea Haven wasn't just a set. It was a controlled dream, a dictatorship of smiles. And the cast had to live inside that dream as if it were real. Fact number 4. Privacy didn't exist. In Sea Haven, nothing was private. Not even brushing your teeth. Truman's entire life was filmed by hidden cameras, disguised in doorways, radios, vending machines, even wedding rings. The design wasn't random. It was meant to feel invasive, to make viewers feel they were peeking into something sacred. And it worked. Moviegoers felt uneasily complicit, as if they were spying on Truman too. The unsettling truth was clear. The movie didn't just show surveillance, it made you feel it. In a time before social media and 24/7 reality shows, this idea was terrifyingly ahead of its time. Fact number 5. Every camera had logic. Peter Weir didn't shoot The Truman Show like a normal movie. Traditional camera setups were tossed out. Instead, he borrowed the language of surveillance. Wide shots from corners, low angles from dashboards, lingering frames that felt a second too late. It didn't look staged. It looked like someone was secretly watching. That subtle trick unsettled audiences without them even realizing why. The whole film feels like an observation, not a performance. And that choice made viewers squirm, because deep down, it felt too real, like we were spying right alongside Kristoff. Fact number 6. A bottle of vitamin D. It's a blink and you miss it detail, but it reveals everything. In Truman's kitchen, a bottle of vitamin D sits quietly on the table. Why would he need it? Because Sea Haven's bright blue sky wasn't the real sun at all. It was a giant stage light. Without real sunlight, Truman could have grown sick. Those supplements were a way to keep him healthy, without letting him suspect the sky above was fake. Director Peter Weir even shot a deleted scene where Truman's wife insists he take his vitamins, her voice just a little too sharp, like a commercial pitch. The detail was chilling. Even his own body, his health, was being managed by the show. Sea Haven wasn't paradise. It was a lab. Fact number 7. The magnifying glass trick. One of the movie's creepiest Easter eggs hides in plain sight. When Truman's mother flips through the family photo album, she pauses at a picture of them at Mount Rushmore. But something feels wrong. The monument looks tiny, almost like a cheap prop. The real kicker is the magnifying glass she's using. Look closely and you'll see it's shaped exactly like a vintage television screen. That's no accident. In a film built on surveillance and manipulation, even this small object reinforces the theme. Truman's entire life has been framed for an audience. Even when looking at old family photos, he's still being watched through a screen. It's a subtle reminder that nothing in his world was ever real. Not his vacations, not his memories, not even his past. Fact number 8. Kristoff's words weren't fiction. Kristoff, the calm but chilling creator of Truman's World, never screams or rages. He speaks with a soft conviction, like a father explaining why control is love. But here's the disturbing truth. His dialogue wasn't invented. Peter Weir had Ed Harris study interviews with real TV producers and media executives who spoke openly about shaping emotions and controlling audiences. Some of Kristoff's most famous lines, like, "We accept the reality of the world with which we are presented," were echoes of their real philosophy. That's why his words hit so hard. They weren't the rantings of a movie villain. They were the polished, professional logic of people who shape billions of minds through television. Harris played Kristoff not as a monster, but as a man who truly believed he was doing good. That calm certainty is what made him terrifying. Fact number 9. Ed Harris wasn't the first choice. Ed Harris delivered one of the most memorable performances of his career as Kristoff, but he almost didn't play the role at all. In fact, he was hired only days before filming started, after Dennis Hopper suddenly dropped out. Harris barely had time to prepare. He built Kristoff's character overnight, deciding on details himself. He imagined Kristoff as a man who never left the control room, who ate, slept, and lived under the artificial glow of Sea Haven. Even the beret he wears? That was Harris's own idea, chosen to give him a touch of eccentric authority. What could have been a disaster turned into brilliance. With no time for overthinking, Harris created a character who was cold, calm, and completely in control. Sometimes, the best performances are born from chaos. Fact number 10. The final joke that almost got cut. When Truman finally escapes, the audience in the control room is left stunned. The world has changed. But then, 2 security guards break the silence with one of the most cynical lines ever put in a movie. "What else is on?" Followed by, "Yeah, let's see what else." It wasn't in the script. The actors improvised it as a throwaway joke. The studio hated it, calling it too cynical, too meta, and wanted it removed. But director Peter Weir refused. He knew it was the perfect ending note. No matter how historic Truman's escape was, some people would just change the channel and move on. It was a gut punch of truth. The world's greatest story reduced to just another show. Fact number 11. A world built from ads. Look closely at Sea Haven and you'll notice something strange. Everyone around Truman is constantly selling something. His wife praises kitchen appliances in full ad slogans. His best friend casually drinks beer with the label always facing camera. And even random neighbors talk like commercials. This wasn't just a quirk. Director Peter Weir designed Sea Haven to secretly run on product placement, exactly like the way TV and movies are funded in real life. In the story, ads were how the network made money from Truman's life. In our world, the movie itself was commenting on how entertainment often disguises advertising as friendship, love, or happiness. It was a satire hidden in plain sight. Even Truman's conversations were commercials. Fact number 12. Jim Carrey went off. Script: Jim Carrey wasn't just acting. He was experimenting, testing, and sometimes outright ignoring the script. During shooting, he would wander off set, improvise strange movements, and even disappear before a take. The crew often had no idea what he was going to do. At first it seemed chaotic, but it was exactly what Peter Weir wanted. He told Carrey, "Do what Truman would do if he sensed something was wrong." That unpredictability gave the performance an edge of paranoia. When Truman suddenly pauses, stares at the sky, or laughs in a way that feels almost too real, that wasn't acting. That was Carrey breaking the rhythm of the production, just like Truman was breaking the rhythm of his own fake world. Fact number 13. The drowning scene was real fear. One of the most powerful moments comes when Truman tries to sail away and Kristoff tries to stop him by creating a deadly storm. For Carrey, this wasn't just acting. He had a personal fear of water, rooted in a childhood near-drowning accident. When the scene was filmed, Weir pushed him hard, demanding that he face that fear in front of the camera. Carrey nearly backed out, but instead, he used the fear to fuel his performance. The panic in his eyes, the shaking, the way he grips the boat as waves crash down, that was no fake. It was Jim Carrey confronting one of his deepest terrors. That's why the scene feels so raw, because it was raw. Fact number 14. The crew became characters. Most extras in movies are background noise, not in The Truman Show. Peter Weir made every single extra act like they were part of a real town. They had jobs, routines, even personalities that Truman could bump into at any time. The mailman delivered fake letters, the newspaperman always had the same paper, and the jogger looped the same route daily. Some extras lived on set for weeks, repeating their tasks until it felt natural. The effect was eerie. Sea Haven became a living loop, a simulation where people weren't acting anymore. They were existing. For Truman, it made the world believable. For audiences, it made the world uncanny, like a video game NPC town come to life. Fact number 15. Sea Haven was a real place. Unlike most Hollywood sets, Sea Haven wasn't built on a soundstage. The filmmakers found a real master-planned community in Florida called Seaside. With its pastel houses, perfect lawns, and neatly arranged streets, it looked too good to be true, which was exactly the point. The town was so carefully designed in real life that it already felt artificial, like a stage built for perfection. Locals even played extras, blending in seamlessly with the fiction. The result was unsettling. A real place that looked fake used to tell a fake story that felt real. Sea Haven blurred the line between movie set and suburb, reminding viewers that sometimes reality is the strangest illusion of all. Fact number 16. The sun was a spotlight. In Sea Haven, the sky always looked perfect. Clouds drifted in slow motion, the horizon never changed, and the sun always rose on time. But behind that illusion was one of the film's strangest props, a giant stage light hidden in the sky dome. In fact, in one scene, Truman notices something falling from above, a theater light labeled Sirius, crashing to the street. It wasn't just a plot device. It was a symbol. The moment revealed that even the heavens above him were stage equipment. His entire universe was literally manufactured lighting. What seemed natural was carefully engineered, the same way real media shines only the light it wants you to see. Fact number 17. The escape was built into the script. Truman's desperate escape on the sailboat wasn't just a thrilling climax. From the very beginning, Peter Weir designed the whole film around this single moment. The dome, the storm, the boat, it was written as both a prison break and a spiritual rebirth. Notice how when the storm ends, the water suddenly turns calm and flat like a stage floor. And when Truman finally reaches the wall of the dome, the horizon literally shatters, exposing the painted sky. That imagery wasn't accidental. It was meant to feel biblical, like a man breaking out of Eden, walking from illusion into painful freedom. The escape wasn't just physical, it was the awakening of a soul. Fact number 18. The famous catchphrase. Almost didn't happen. Truman's final line before leaving, "In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night," became one of the most iconic exits in movie history. But originally, the script had no big farewell. Jim Carrey suggested bringing back Truman's quirky greeting from earlier in the film to give the ending a sense of closure. It was both funny and heartbreaking. A simple, cheerful line, now loaded with irony. He wasn't just signing off to Sea Haven, he was signing off to an entire fake world. Without that line, the ending would have felt cold. With it, Truman's goodbye became unforgettable. Fact number 19. The movie predicted reality TV. When The Truman Show premiered in 1998, reality TV as we know it didn't exist. Big Brother wouldn't debut until 1999, Survivor until 2000. The idea of ordinary people being filmed 24/7 for entertainment was still considered absurd. But the movie predicted it all. The obsession with real lives on screen, the blurring of truth and performance, the way audiences become addicted to watching strangers. What seemed like satire at the time quickly became prophecy. Within years, Truman's World wasn't science fiction anymore. It was television. Fact number 20. The ending was meant for us. When Truman finally walks out of the dome, the camera lingers on an empty doorframe. Silence. The show is over. But then, those two security guards break it with their chilling line. "What else is on?" Followed by, "Yeah, let's see what else." That ending wasn't really about them. It was about us, the audience. The message was clear. No matter how powerful a story is, no matter how much truth it reveals, people will always move on to the next distraction. The Truman Show wasn't just Truman's cage. It was ours. The final joke wasn't a joke at all. It was a warning. The Truman Show was more than a movie. It was a mirror, reflecting how media sells happiness, manipulates truth, and turns lives into entertainment. Every prop, every line, every hidden camera carried a secret message. And maybe that's why it still feels relevant today. Because the real question isn't whether Truman was trapped. The real question is, are we?